全面建设社会主义现代化国家，全面推进中华民族伟大复兴的政治宣言和行动纲领。大会对推进中国高水平开放作出全面部署，明确要不断以中国新发展为世界提供新机遇。本届进博会秉承新时代共享未来的主题，对于促进各国相互扩大开放、深化合作具有重要的意义。在今天的开幕式上，中华人民共和国主席习近平将发表视频致辞。这是习近平主席连续第5次在进博会上发表重要讲话。中共中央政治局常委李强莅临会场并将致辞。出席今天开幕式并发表视频致辞的还有斯里兰卡总统维克拉玛辛哈、毛里塔尼亚总统加兹尼瓦尼、莫桑比克总统纽西、白俄罗斯总统卢卡申科、圭亚那总统阿里、所罗门群岛总理索贾瓦雷、世界贸易组织总干事伊维拉、国际货币基金组织总裁格奥尔基耶娃、联合国工业发展组织总干事穆勒。来自82个国家和地区的国际组织101位部级以上嘉宾线上出席今天的开幕式。有关国家驻华使节、国际组织驻华代表、各省区市和有关部委负责人、跨国公司、智库和商协会代表出席开幕式。本届进博会共有145个国家、地区和国际组织参展，其中66个国家和3个国家组织参加国家展。来自127个国家和地区的2800多家参展商参加企业展，新设了农作物种业、人工智能专区和数字进博线上展，400多项新产品、新技术、新服务将集中亮相。博览会期间还将举办中国这10年对外开放成就展、RCEP 以更高水平开放高层论坛等24场分论坛和近100场配套活动。希望大家充分利用进博会平台，深入沟通交流，努力达成更多互利共赢的成果。现在，让我们以热烈的掌声欢迎中华人民共和国主席习近平阁下发表视频致辞。
尊敬的各位国家元首、政府首脑，尊敬的各位国际组织负责人，尊敬的各代表团团长，各位来宾，女士们、先生们、朋友们，大家好。我谨代表中国政府和中国人民，并以我个人名义，向出席第5届中国国际进口博览会的各位嘉宾，表示热烈的欢迎和诚挚的问候。5年前，我宣布举办进博会，就是要扩大开放，让中国大市场成为世界大机遇。现在，进博会已经成为中国构建新发展格局的窗口，推动高水平开放的平台，全球共享的国际公共产品。开放是人类文明进步的重要动力，是世界繁荣发展的必由之路。当前， 世界100年未有之大变局加速演进，世界经济复苏动力不足。我们要以开放纾发展之困，以开放会合作之力，以开放具创新之势，以开放谋共享之福，推动经济全球化不断向前，增强各国发展动能，让发展成果更多、更公平惠及各国人民。女士们、先生们、朋友们，中国共产党第20次全国代表大会强调，中国坚持对外开放的基本国策，坚定奉行互利共赢的开放战略，坚持经济全球化正确方向，增强国内国际2个市场、2种资源联动效应，不断以中国新发展为世界提供新机遇，推动建设开放型世界经济。中国将推动各国各方共享中国大市场机遇，加快建设强大国内市场，推动货物贸易优化升级，创新服务贸易发展机制，扩大优质产品进口，创建丝路电商合作先行区，建设国家服务贸易创新发展示范区，推动贸易创新发展，推进高质量共建“一带一路”。中国将推动各国各方共享制度型开放机遇，稳步扩大规则、规制、管理、标准等制度型开放，实施好新版鼓励外商投资产业目录，深化国家服务业扩大开放综合示范区建设，实施自由贸易试验区提升战略，加快建设海南自由贸易港，发挥好改革开放综合试验平台作用。中国将推动各国各方共享深化国际合作机遇，全面深入参与世界贸易组织改革谈判，推动贸易和投资自由化便利化，促进国际宏观经济政策协调，共同培育全球发展新动能，积极推进加入全面与进步跨太平洋伙伴关系协定和数字经济伙伴关系协定，扩大面向全球的高标准自由贸易区网络，坚定支持和帮助广大发展中国家加快发展，推动构建人类命运共同体。女士们、先生们、朋友们，山重水复疑无路，柳暗花明又一村。路就在脚下，光明就在前方。中国愿同各国一道践行真正的多边主义，凝聚更多开放共识，共同克服全球经济发展面临的困难和挑战，让开放为全球发展带来新的光明前程。谢谢大家。
感谢习近平主席的精彩致辞。刚才习近平主席充分肯定了进博会取得的重大成就，强调在当前世界100年未有之大变局加速演进、世界经济复苏动力不足的形势下，坚持开放的重要性，明确中国将按照20大部署， 坚持对外开放的基本国策，坚定奉行互利共赢的开放战略，坚持经济全球化正确方向，推动各国各方共享中国大市场机遇，共享制度型开放机遇，共享深化国际合作机遇。习近平主席的重要讲话必将对推进中国高水平开放、推动共建开放型世界经济产生重大而深远的影响。现在有请外国领导人和国际组织负责人致辞。
下面有请斯里兰卡总统维克拉玛辛哈阁下致辞，请大家佩戴同传耳机。
His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to address the 5th China International Import Expo. Before I begin my speech, I would first like to congratulate Your Excellency on the ever-expanding success of the CIE and on Your Excellency's re-election as a General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. I remember it was during the first forum of the Belt and Road Initiative back in 2017 that the CIE was first unveiled. Since then, the CIE has been both an important step in trade liberalization as well as a vital tool in strengthening economic cooperation around the world. This international import-themed expo fair is an innovative stage in the developing countries' attempts to enter the Chinese market. The CIE has allowed many countries and businesses to enjoy the benefit of the growing consumption appetite of the Chinese people. I must thank you, Mr. President, and the Chinese government for this measure. Sri Lanka has been participating in the CIIE since its inception. Our businesses have benefited greatly through this participation. We have been provided the opportunity for our industries to establish a foothold in the Chinese market. Modern relations between Sri Lanka and China began with the Rubberized Pact. This was an unique agreement at the time. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the pact. The bilateral relationship between our two nations has since then expanded into numerous areas, including trade, investment, tourism, education, defense and health. In 2021, the total volume of trade between our two nations was US dollars 4.3 billion. China is Sri Lanka's biggest source of imports, and there is room to further develop bilateral trade. We are hopeful that negotiations on the free trade agreement will be recommenced in the near future. I once again warmly congratulate Your Excellency and the other officials who have persisted in ensuring the continued success of this significant import expo, despite the challenges posed by the pandemic. I take this opportunity to extend my best wishes for a successful 5th International Import Expo, as well as the future prosperity of all the participants. Thank you.
感谢维克拉玛辛哈总统。下面有请毛里塔尼亚总统加兹瓦尼阁下致辞。
يطيب لي بداية أن أتوجه بأحر التهاني إلى صاحب الفخامة السيد شي جين بينغ رئيس جمهورية الصين الشعبية بمناسبة إعادة انتخابه أميناً عاماً للحزب الشيوعي الصيني، وأن أثمن عالياً مبادرة فخامته بإطلاق المعرض الصيني الدولي للاستيراد بشانغهاي، الذي أتشرف اليوم بالمشاركة عن بعد في إطلاق نسخته الخامسة. إن هذا المعرض أصبح يعد بحق أهم منصة دولية تعرض من خلالها المؤسسات منتجاتها وتستكشف فرصاً تجارية واستثمارية جديدة، تعزيزاً للشراكات التنموية وإنعاشاً للاقتصاد العالمي. ونحن في الجمهورية الإسلامية الموريتانية بحكم موقعنا الجيوستراتيجي ومواردنا الطبيعية الكثيرة والمتنوعة وما نوفره من مناخ أعمال جيد وفرص استثمارية عديدة، لنأمل أن يساهم هذا المعرض في تمكيننا من عقد شراكات اقتصادية مثمرة وجلب العديد من الاستثمارات الجديدة. إن تنظيم هذه النسخة الخامسة من معرض الصين الدولي للاستيراد في الظرف الدولي الاستثنائي القائم لذو رمزية كبيرة، وفي الوقت الذي يواجه فيه العالم النتائج الكارثية لجائحة كوفيد-19 وتدهور الوضع الأمني الدولي بفعل الأزمة الأوكرانية وارتباك سلاسل الإمداد وتصاعد التضخم المنذر بالركود الاقتصادي الشامل، يأتي معرض الصين الدولي للاستيراد باعثاً برسالة قوية تعبر عن دعم جمهورية الصين الشعبية لحرية التجارة في اقتصاد مفتوح وضمن نظام عالمي متعدد الأقطاب أكثر عدالة واعتماداً على التعاون البناء. وهذا التعاون البناء هو بالذات ما يؤسس للعلاقات التي تجمع بلادنا بالجمهورية الصينية الشعبية، إذ هي علاقات تعاون وصداقة وطيدة تمثل تجسيداً حياً لمبدأ الشراكة الناجحة القائمة على أساس المصلحة المشتركة في إطار من الاحترام المتبادل والثقة الراسخة. وإننا إذ نجدد التأكيد على دعمنا الثابت لمبدأ الصين الواحدة وعلى تمسكنا بالتنويع وتعميق الشراكة مع جمهورية الصين الشعبية، لنرجو نجاحاً باهراً لهذه النسخة الخامسة من معرض الصين الدولي للاستيراد بشانغهاي. والسلام عليكم.
感谢加兹瓦尼总统。下面有请莫桑比克总统纽西阁下致辞。
Sua Excelência Xi Jinping, Presidente da República Popular da China, minhas senhoras e meus senhores, Excelências, eu gostaria de expressar em nome do povo moçambicano, do meu governo e em meu nome pessoal, a nossa satisfação e agradecimentos ao governo da China pelo convite que nos foi dirigido para intervir nesta quinta sessão do China International Import-Export Enterprise and Business Exhibition com o lema New Era Sharing Future, uma plataforma de alto nível de promoção de oportunidades, investimentos e subsequente formação de parcerias empresariais. Moçambique e a China têm uma relação histórica e econômica de proximidade e convivência que privilegia o crescimento do comércio e investimentos recíprocos a partir de cadeias de valor de referência com impacto na infraestrutura do desenvolvimento social. Com efeito, apesar de deficitária a nossa balança comercial, registra e assinala nos últimos 5 anos um valor global estimado em 1.771 milhões de dólares americanos, o que é revelador do intercâmbio comercial, sendo o segundo país de maior peso na origem das nossas importações e o quarto como destino das nossas exportações. No que diz respeito aos investimentos entre 2017 e 2021, a China ocupou lugares cimeiros, alternando entre a primeira e a segunda posição, totalizando 147 empreendimentos, num volume total de investimentos que ronda os 846 milhões de dólares americanos. Estes investimentos não só geraram mais de 16 mil empregos, como também trouxeram um impacto positivo na balança comercial pelo canal das exportações e substituição de importações. Este relacionamento continuará sólido com o potencial de exportação de GNL a partir da área 4 e área 1, assim como investimentos adicionais na expansão da capacidade de produção de hidrocarbonetos. Explorando a vantagem da posição geográfica de Moçambique na relação com os países vizinhos do Interland, queremos assim aproveitar o ensejo e, de uma forma mais concreta, apresentar a nossa oferta coletiva à China das seguintes oportunidades. 1. O nosso potencial energético e renovável, hidro e fóssil, especialmente a hidroelétrica de Mpandancua. 2. As nossas infraestruturas e corredores logísticos de ligação regional e global, sul, centro, norte. 3. As capacidades de valor e nichos produtivos agrícolas e pesqueiros com potencial diferenciador. 4. A industrialização em rede como base para a transformação e edição de valor de produtos agroalimentares, incluindo pesqueiros das águas interiores, recursos minerais e hidrocarbonetos. 5. O turismo de costa e do interior, bem assim a nossa indústria cultural. 6. A promoção de parques industriais interligados, tendo como base a experiência chinesa bem-sucedida. Nós acreditamos nesta cooperação econômica e vemos espaço para maior internacionalização do nosso Made in and Created with Mozambique. Por isso, eu gostaria de sublinhar aspectos como 1. A estabilização da inflação e a taxa de câmbio e as perspectivas do crescimento de 5% para 2023. 2. A retoma do programa com o FMI. E 3. A recente aprovação de um pacote de medidas que visam a aceleração do investimento privado e mobilidade de pessoas associados ao investimento externo. Distintos investidores e empresários terminam afirmando que Moçambique é um mercado para investir, com um setor privado aberto a parcerias através do conteúdo local dominado pelo segmento das micro, pequenas e médias empresas. Este evento vem premiar a diplomacia econômica conjunta, numa fase em que concluímos, em setembro último, o processo negocial do estabelecimento oficial do mercado preferencial da China para cerca de 98% de produtos de Moçambique. Bem-haja esta 5ª edição internacional de importação e exportação. Muito obrigado pela atenção.
感谢纽西总统。下面有请白俄罗斯总统卢卡申科阁下致辞。
Уважаемый председатель Си Цзиньпин, уважаемые главы государств, руководители правительств, дамы и господа. Поздравляю всех участников и гостей с открытием 5-й китайской международной выставки импорта в Шанхае. Данное мероприятие прочно закрепилось в календаре экономических событий и сегодня представляет собой один из наиболее востребованных форматов взаимодействия. Рад, что после 2 лет вынужденной паузы в общении мы с помощью подобных встреч восполняем дефицит контактов, готовы поделиться полученным опытом, представить свои разработки и достижения по целому ряду направлений. Глобальный социально-экономический кризис, вызванный пандемией и усилением геополитической конфронтации, выявил особую необходимость в эффективной международной координации, а также равноправном и уважительном партнерстве. Являясь важной частью евразийского пространства, наше государство стояло у истоков создания Евразийского экономического союза. Мы уделяем особое внимание проектам в рамках китайской инициативы «Пояс и путь», среди которых наиболее значимый расположенный у нас индустриальный парк «Великий камень». Беларусь готова к расширению совместной работы по поставкам высококачественной продукции и реализации новых проектов в области электронной торговли. Готовы продолжить тесное сотрудничество со всеми заинтересованными сторонами для диверсификации маршрутов регулярных транзитных перевозок и внедрения инновационных логистических подходов. Беларусь принимает участие в китайской международной выставке импорта в Шанхае с первых дней создания, ежегодно презентуя на ее площадке свои
ключевые достижения и разработки. Наше участие в выставке 2022 года проходит в начале нового этапа развития белорусско-китайского взаимодействия. Будучи надежными и проверенными союзниками, железными братьями, мы эффективно работаем в области кооперации, инноваций, логистики. В этом году в мероприятии в Шанхае участвуют 20 известных белорусских производителей. Экспоненты презентуют наши передовые наработки в производстве высокотехнологичного оборудования, в сферах информационных технологий, медицины. Участники и посетители смогут лично увидеть сверхмалые орбитальные космические аппараты, серию противораковых лекарственных средств, белорусские электроскутеры и многое другое. Отдельного внимания заслуживает стенд индустриального парка «Великий камень». На нем представлены достижения и разработки резидентов, что наглядно демонстрирует инвестиционный потенциал парка. Наша страна с многовековыми аграрными традициями входит в топ мировых экспортеров молочной продукции и калийных удобрений, вносит немалый вклад в обеспечение мировой продовольственной безопасности. Национальная экспозиция со свойственным белорусам гостеприимством продемонстрирует полюбившуюся китайским покупателям продовольственную продукцию, изготовленную в соответствии с мировыми экологическими стандартами. В рамках выставки также будет работать виртуальный павильон Беларуси. В нем представят достижения промышленности, научно-технические инновации, туристический и культурный потенциал нашего государства. Дорогие друзья, убежден, что китайская выставка импорта в Шанхае придаст мощный импульс расширению международного экономического сотрудничества и технологической кооперации. В заключение хочу поблагодарить организаторов мероприятия, а также пожелать всем его участникам и гостям плодотворной работы, новых профессиональных успехов и выгодных сделок. Благодарю вас за внимание.
感谢卢卡申科总统。下面有请圭亚那总统阿里阁下致辞。
I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to His Excellency President Xi Jinping and to the government and people of the People's Republic of China for their hosting of 4 successful editions of the China International Import Exposition. I'm confident that this year's Expo, the 5th, will be equally successful. The success of the expositions runs parallel with China's impressive economic strides. The country has emerged as a global economic giant, its economy being characterized by strong and sustained economic growth. These accomplishments have resulted in improvement in its people's living standards. China, in turn, has expanded its relations with the rest of the world. It has intensified trade, investment, and developmental assistance with other parts of the developing world, including my own country, Guyana. Guyana remains deeply appreciative of the assistance and collaboration offered by China throughout the years, in areas inclusive of human resource training and scholarships, medical cooperation, food security and agriculture, and technological and infrastructural transformation. I'm confident that this 5th China International Import Exposition will provide an unparalleled opportunity for the promotion of business opportunities, increasing trade, and promoting greater economic collaboration between Guyana and China, and Guyana and the rest of the world. I welcome the opportunity provided by China for Guyana to showcase its products and services through the virtual country exhibition. Guyana is a particularly attractive investment destination for several factors, including its rapid economic growth, resource wealth, multi-sector opportunities, its accessibility to regional and global markets, and a favorable fiscal incentive regime for investors. Companies investing in Guyana can be assured of support and protection. Guyana's development trajectory is in takeoff mode. Our country is now ranked by the International Monetary Fund as one of the 5 fastest growing economies in the world. Our economy is expected to grow by 47% this year. Guyana is now an oil-producing state with an estimated 11 billion barrels of recoverable petroleum reserves, one of the highest per capita levels in the world. It is rich in gold, diamonds, timber, bauxite, fisheries, rice, and sugar. It is also diversifying and modernizing its agricultural sector. Despite being an oil-producing state, Guyana is committed to a low-carbon growth trajectory. The development framework it has crafted entails the prudent and effective management of our oil resources, and investment of the resources and infrastructure, agriculture, health, and education, and the development of low-carbon sectors, including tourism, information technology and communication, and aquaculture. Guyana's low-carbon development strategy promotes economic sustainability, diversification of the economy, investment in climate mitigation, adaptation, utilization of carbon credits, enhanced biodiversity and ecosystem management systems, and transitioning into a clean energy future. Our objective is to reduce the high cost of energy by 50% by 2025, thereby overcoming what has been one of the major impediments in development, high energy costs. Guyana welcomes the opportunity that the China International Import-Expo provides for it to showcase trade and investment potential on a global stage. Undoubtedly, this event will be instrumental in enhancing trade and investment with other countries, including the People's Republic of China. I therefore reiterate my wishes for a successful China International Import-Expo. I thank you.
感谢阿里总统。下面有请所罗门群岛总理索加瓦雷阁下致辞。
General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, Central Committee, and President of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Xi Jinping, distinguished entrepreneurs, friends and partners of the international community, I bring you greetings on behalf of the business community, people, and government of Solomon Islands. Let me first congratulate the people of China for the reappointment of His Excellency Xi Jinping as the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee. His re-election signifies the trust of the people in the leadership of the Communist Party of China in its pursuit to build a better future for all mankind. The 5th China International Import-Expo theme of New Era Shared Future is the first important event after the 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, attracting worldwide attention. I sincerely commend President Xi Jinping and the government of the People's Republic of China for this fine achievement. Hosting the China International Import Expo is a major decision of the Chinese government to promote a new round of high-level opening, as well as a key measure for China to proactively open its market to the rest of the world. The China International Import Expo has since increasingly acted as a major platform for international procurement, investment promotion, cultural exchange, and open cooperation. It has become a window of the new development paradigm and a forum to uphold high-level opening up and multilateralism, and has been providing an international public good for the world to share. This year, 2022, the China International Import Expo have all the reasons to be of special significance. Solomon Islands would like to join the international partners of China by supporting the China International Import Expo as a major platform to further promote the high-level opening up, pragmatically advance the market interaction, industry integration, mutually reinforcing innovation, and rural interconnection between China and the rest of the world, hence building a community with a shared future for mankind. For Solomon Islands, China has been the leading destination of our commodities export for a long time. In the last 5 years, more than 50% of our foreign export earnings came from People's Republic of China. In 2018, it was 65% of the total value of export commodities. Our actual export to China is around 357 million on average. Our potential is about $763 million. There is an untapped potential of around 400 million that can be realized through an enhanced market interaction. The People's Republic of China and Solomon Islands had signed agreements between our two countries, one of which is the Road and Belt Initiative. In particular, this initiative will enhance Solomon Islands' connectivity, trade and investment links with the People's Republic of China and globally. Significantly, we will continue to foster closer understanding and cooperation within the Blue Economy Cooperation. This is an arrangement that the two countries will build upon to explore the opportunities of trade it presents. Solomon Islands is also pleased to be given preferential treatment on our commodities export to China. Leaders, distinguished entrepreneurs, through this new era of shared future, the China International Import Expo enables the world to share the following information and opportunities. First, with the world's largest population, growing middle class, China is the second largest economy, as well as the second largest importer and consumer in the world. The China International Import Expo is therefore an enormous opportunity to expand the horizons of our local production and exportable supply. In the next 5 years, China is expecting to import products and services valuing more than $10 trillion, which provides a historic opportunity for enterprises across the world to enter the huge Chinese market. Second, the China International Import Expo attracts enterprises from many participating countries and regions, supporting activities such as supply-demand matchmaking meetings, seminars, and product releases that will be held during this event will provide important business information and promotion of products. Third, under the leadership of the CPC and the platform provided for by the China International Import Expo, I know this new era will provide new channels for a shared future between countries and regions with China to do business, strengthen cooperation, and promote common prosperity of the world economy and trade. China's adherence to the right course of economic globalization and its investment in global development cooperation is highly commendable. Your Excellency, government leaders and representatives, distinguished entrepreneurs, and world business representatives, I wish you all the best and every success in this prestigious event. Thank you.
感谢索加瓦雷总理。下面有请世界贸易组织总干事伊维拉女士致辞。
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a pleasure to share this message for the opening ceremony of the 5th edition of the China International Import Expo, or CIIE. Let me start by thanking His Excellency President Xi for his continued leadership in hosting this impressive event. China is widely recognized to have become the world's largest merchandise exporter, It accounted for 15.1% of world exports in 2021. Less well known is the fact that it is the second largest importer of goods, accounting for 11.9% of world imports last year. China is also the second largest importer of services, as well as the third largest services exporter. China has an immense stake in global trade and in the strength of the multilateral trading system that underpins it. This is reflected in its voice and influence at the World Trade Organization. This past June, at our 12th Ministerial Conference, China's constructive engagement and flexibility helped make it possible for all 164 members of the WTO to deliver, by consensus, 10 multilaterally agreed texts. These include the WTO's response to the food security crisis, including a legally binding decision to exempt World Food Programme humanitarian purchases from export restrictions, a response to the COVID-19 pandemic, including a hard-won compromise on the proposed TRIPS waiver with respect to vaccine production, an agreement to curb harmful fisheries subsidies after more than 20 years of negotiations, an extension of duty-free electronic transmissions to provide continued certainty for e-commerce and digitally delivered services, the launch of a process for comprehensive WTO reform, including a collective commitment to make the dispute settlement system fully functional by 2024. These results demonstrated that WTO members are capable of working across geopolitical tensions to respond to the multifaceted challenges facing the world today. Trade can, in fact, trade must be part of the solution to address these and other issues of our times, such as post-pandemic economic recovery, inflation, imperatives for development and socioeconomic inclusion, and of course, climate change that is already upending lives and livelihoods. Reforming and revitalizing the WTO is about equipping it to contribute as fully as possible to these solutions. This is why, for all our collective success at MC12, enormous efforts are needed from now on to build upon those results. Among the issues on members' agendas are determining whether to extend the TRIPS waiver compromise to therapeutics and diagnostics. The deadline members have set is in mid-December. Ensuring the new fisheries subsidies agreement swiftly enters into force and that the second wave of negotiations moves ahead on further strengthening the disciplines. Promoting WTO reform, including concrete solutions-oriented negotiations on dispute settlement. Rebuilding the agriculture negotiations to respond to the full spectrum of challenges facing farm production and trade. Enabling members to make a shared, informed decision on extending the e-commerce moratorium. I'm firmly convinced that the future of trade is digital, it is services, and it's green. WTO members must keep up, and China's engagement will be critical for these efforts. The future of trade must also be inclusive, something that I know China cares very deeply about. This means drawing more micro, small and medium enterprises and women entrepreneurs into value chains. It also means bringing communities and countries now on the margins of global supply networks to the mainstream, in particular in Africa, Latin America, and also some parts of Asia. In its role as an importer, showcased by the CIIE, China can help ensure trade remains a force for development and inclusion. I look forward to working with China and other WTO members for a stronger, more effective global trading system that delivers for people and the planet. Thank you.
感谢伊维拉女士。下面有请国际货币基金组织总裁格尔基耶娃女士致辞。
晚上好 Good evening to all. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Minister Wang for inviting me to contribute to this 5th China International Import Expo. The theme of this year's Expo stimulating global opening up for shared opportunities of cooperation and development is exactly what the world needs today. We know how much the world, and this region in particular, has benefited over the past 3 to 4 decades from global economic integration. Simply put, trade has been an engine of shared growth for Asia and the world. Yet, we are at a critical moment. For more than 2.5 years, the world has been facing extraordinary challenges: a global pandemic, war in Ukraine, climate disasters on all continents. And with it, we are witnessing record high inflation, a cost of living crisis, and acute food insecurity in too many parts of the world. And for the first time in decades, we are seeing poverty in so many places on the rise again. There is much that policymakers around the world can and must do to stabilize their economies. These immediate actions are essential, but they will not be enough to ensure that economic integration, not fragmentation, continues to be the driving force for a more prosperous future for all of us. That is why the spirit of this expo is so vital. We must safeguard and promote trade openness, both at home and by cooperating to build a stronger global trading system centered on the World Trade Organization. To understand the benefits of more open and stable trade policies, we need to look no further than China. A quarter century ago, China undertook ambitious reforms, opening the economy to greater competition and innovation, which in turn saw rapid gains in productivity and tremendous increases in living standards. These reforms also secured China's membership in the WTO and established China as a leading trading nation. Today, the global trading system is under severe threat. Trade restrictions and distortionary subsidies are on the rise. A particular priority is rolling back food-related trade restrictions, which drive up global prices and food insecurity. In other words, rather than being a source of growth and integration, trade policy risks becoming a source of economic fragmentation, which hurts all countries. And we see in our latest economic outlook for the region released last week a scenario that illustrates the potential cost. If the world and our trade were to divide into 2 blocks, we estimate permanent annual losses of 1.5% of GDP globally, with losses over 3% of GDP in Asia and the Pacific, reflecting the key role trade plays in the region. The global community, led by major economies, must step up with practical and concrete actions. For China, there is room to further open up domestic markets, deepen reforms of state-owned enterprises, ensure competitive neutrality with private firms, and further strengthen the protection of intellectual property rights. These efforts will be good for China, for the economic well-being of the Chinese people, and they're good for the world. For example, reforms that would improve resource allocation between different firms in China could increase productivity by around 6%. Of course, as a global economic powerhouse, China also has a key leadership role in the WTO. Together with other major economies, China can help strengthen the multilateral system. And let me highlight 4 priorities. First, we need to clarify trade rules, especially by addressing issues such as agricultural and industrial subsidies. Second, we need to conclude new market opening agreements in key areas of the modern economy, such as digital trade and investment facilitation. Third, we can strengthen the role of trade in fighting climate change, including through liberalizing trade in environmental goods and services. And finally, restoring effective WTO with dispute settlement that works will provide the policy certainty and stability needed for investment, job creation, and growth. This should be coupled with the renewed commitment to a multilateral approach. Rather than acting unilaterally, governments should bring their disputes to the WTO. I recognize that delivering on these priorities will not be easy. And instrumental as China's leadership can be, no one country can achieve this alone. And that is why we need much stronger international cooperation, not less of it. And that is why we need this Expo and similar opportunities for interaction and dialogue. Only by reaching out across borders and bridging differences on critical trade issues can we confront fragmentation and together build a more prosperous future for everyone. 谢谢。
感谢格尔基耶娃女士。下面有请联合国工业发展组织总干事穆勒致辞。
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all from Vienna and from UNIDO. Let me please thank China's Ministry of Commerce for the invitation and for their support for UNIDO. I also want to congratulate the government of China for organizing this 5th edition of the China International Import Expo. This expo has quickly become a key global forum for trade, international cooperation and investment promotion. This expo and we at UNIDO share many priorities. We make global partnerships and cooperation possible to ensure fair trade. We work to share knowledge and technology to advance economic development. We ensure that such development is environmentally sustainable. We share the goal of progress by innovation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, UNIDO and China will continue our successful work together for shared growth and international development. I'm proud to say that UNIDO has been a key partner for CIIE since its first edition in 2018. In the past 4 expos, UNIDO participated in many sessions and exhibitions. We have been a key contributor to the Hongqiao Forum. UNIDO is honored to be a co-organizer of the parallel session this year. It will focus on industrial parks and special economic zones. They are a way for developing countries to improve South-South industrial cooperation and to increase their productivity. I am happy to invite you all to our session tomorrow at the forum. We also welcome you to visit our digital exhibition pavilion. There you can see UNIDO's efforts to address the most pressing challenges and solutions for today's world. UNIDO is always ready to be your partner to bring sustainable development and concrete solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate again the government of China for organizing this forum. Working together, we can create win-win situations for everyone's benefit. And we can create a fairer trade system. I wish you all great success. Thank you so much.
感谢穆勒先生。下面有请胡春华副总理继续主持开幕式。
感谢各国领导人和各位国际组织负责人的精彩致辞。刚才各位嘉宾就应对共同挑战、扩大相互开放、促进共同发展，发表了很多真知灼见，提出了许多建设性意见，对于开好本次虹桥国际论坛、促进各国互利合作具有十分重要的意义。现在有请中共中央政治局常委李强阁下致辞，并宣布第5届中国国际进口博览会开幕。
尊敬的各位嘉宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，很高兴与大家相聚在上海，共同参加第5届中国国际进口博览会开幕式。刚才习近平主席发表了重要致辞，肯定了进博会的重要作用和丰硕成果，强调中国坚持对外开放基本国策，阐释了以中国新发展为世界提供新举措的为世界提供新机遇的开放举措，阐释了为建设开放世界经济注入了强大正能量的相关举措。我们要把握经济全球化发展大势，以开放合作共克时艰，共创未来。今年以来，中国统筹疫情防控和经济社会发展，既保护了人民生命安全和身体健康，也稳住了经济社会发展。中国经济韧性强、潜力大、回旋余地足，长期向好的基本面不会改变。改革开放的伟大历程昭示，中国越开放就越发展，越发展就越开放。在开放当中，我们更加自强自信。过去中国经济发展是在开放条件下取得的，未来我们要实现高质量的发展，也必须在更加开放的条件下进行。中国共产党第20次全国代表大会强调，中国将坚持高水平对外开放。新征程上，中国开放的大门只会越开越大。第一，中国的高水平开放是双循环相互促进的开放。习近平主席多次强调，新发展格局绝不是封闭的国内循环，而是更加开放的国内国际双循环。高水平开放有利于增强国内大循环内生动力和可靠性，提升国际循环的质量和水平，增强两个市场、两种资源的联动效应。中国将坚定实施扩大内需战略，推动形成强大国内市场，以国内的大循环吸引全球资源要素，让中国市场成为全球共享的大市场。推动贸易高质量发展，依法保护外商投资权益，进一步的放宽市场准则，推动贸易投资自由化、便利化。 在更高开放水平上形成良性循环。第二，中国高水平开放是促进深层次改革的开放。改革开放是决定当代中国前途命运的关键一招。开放对于改革具有塑造动力的作用，两者相辅相成，缺一不可。中国将坚持社会主义市场经济改革方向，充分发挥市场在资源配置中的决定性作用，更好地发挥政府作用。坚持两个毫不动摇：完善产权保护、市场准入、公平竞争等市场经济基础制度，依法保护各类企业合法权益，营造市场化、法治化、国际化一流营商环境，稳步扩大规则、规制、管理、标准等制度性开放，推动形成更高水平开放型经济新体制。第三，中国的高水平开放是推动高质量发展的开放。高质量发展是全面建设社会主义现代化国家的首要任务。推进高水平开放，有助于推动科技创新和产业转型升级，提升供给质量和水平。前3个季度我们中国吸收的外资一共超过了1万亿人民币，同比增长15.6%。特别是这当中，高技术产业外资增长达到了32.3%，这些将为高质量发展注入新的动力。中国将坚持以开放促改革、促发展、促创新，不断为发展塑造新动能、新优势，推动经济实现质的有效提升和量的合理增长。第四，中国的高水平开放是与世界合作共赢的开放。新时代的10年，中国进口增速比世界平均水平快了1倍多，中国经济对世界经济增长的平均贡献率超过了30%。中国式现代化是走和平发展道路的现代化，以海纳百川的宽阔胸襟，借鉴、吸引、吸收人类一切优秀文明成果。中国将坚定坚持真正的多边主义，促进扩大世界开放合作共识，推动共建“一带一路”高质量发展，推动构建人类命运共同体。女士们、先生们、朋友们，进博会是中国主动向世界开放市场的重大举措。5年来，进博会的国际采购、投资促进、人文交流、开放合作4大平台功能逐步完善，展会与论坛相得益彰，经济与人文交相辉映，成为连接中国与世界的彩虹之桥。我们相信，在大家的共同努力下，进博会这一全球共享的国际公共产品一定会越办越好。现在我宣布，第5届中国国际进口博览会开幕。
第5届中国国际进口博览会开幕式到此结束，让我们欢送中方领导人和其他贵宾离场。The opening ceremony of the 5th